Just like I said in my last video, the National Basketball Association started in 1949. Today it has grown to have 30 teams in cities across North America. Between the years, not all the teams have stayed in the same cities and kept the same names. Half of the NBA has played in a different city or has had a name change before. Those franchises are the Hawks, Kings, Pistons, Lakers, Warriors, 76ers, Wizards, Rockets, Thunder, Clippers, Jazz, Nets, Hornets, Grizzlies, and Pelicans. Let's take a look at each and understand their history. The Hawks franchise started as the Tri-City Blackhawks and joined the NBA in 1949. The team represented the three cities of Malone, Illinois, Rock Island, Illinois, and Davenport, Iowa that surround the Mississippi River. They are named after Chief Blackhawk, who ruled over the Native Americans in the area during the 1800s. They played in the Tri-Cities area from 1949 till 1951, and then moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin because the league understood that teams could not survive in small towns. Upon moving to Milwaukee, the franchise shortened their name to the Milwaukee Hawks and changed their logo as well. They played in the city for 4 seasons from 1951 to 1955, and then moved to St. Louis, Missouri to become the St. Louis Hawks. In St. Louis, the team played from 1955 to 1968 and had some success. They would win the 1958 NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics to earn their franchise's first and only championship. In 1968, the team was surprisingly sold to new owners, which moved it to Atlanta, Georgia to become the Atlanta Hawks. The franchise has been there ever since. The Kings franchise started as the Rochester Royals and joined the NBA in 1949. The team played in Rochester, New York, a smaller city on the coast of Lake Ontario. In 1951, the franchise had their only championship-winning season. They played there until 1957, where they would move to Cincinnati, Ohio to become the Cincinnati Royals because of a lack of profitability and the potential of a larger city. In Cincy, they would play from 1957 to 1972 before being sold to a group of Midwestern businessmen. The new owners made the team play between Kansas City, Missouri and Omaha, Nebraska, and changed the franchise's name to the Kansas City Omaha Kings. In 1975, the team would continue only playing their home games in Kansas City and became the Kansas City Kings. They stayed there until 1985, where the franchise was moved to Sacramento, California because of low game attendance. The Sacramento Kings have been playing in Northern California since then, with minimal league success as a franchise. The Pistons franchise started out as the Fort Wayne Pistons and joined the NBA in 1949. The team played in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and were named after a car part because their owner was successful in the automobile industry. The team played in Fort Wayne until 1957 because the owner felt that the city was too small for the franchise. He moved it to Detroit, Michigan, where the franchise name was changed to the Detroit Pistons. He felt that the team would be a better fit in a larger market and a city built around the automobile industry, which Detroit is. The Pistons have played in Detroit from 1957 until now and have been NBA champions 3 separate times, in 1989, 1990, and most recently in 2004. The Lakers franchise started out as the Minneapolis Lakers and joined the NBA in 1949. The franchise name was inspired by the state of Minnesota's nickname, Land of 10,000 Lakes. They stayed in Minneapolis, Minnesota until 1960, where the team was moved to Los Angeles, California because of poor fan attendance. The Lakers have played in LA ever since and are known to be one of the most successful franchises in the NBA because they have won 16 championships and have some of the all-time best basketball players. The Warriors franchise started out in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania as the Philadelphia Warriors and joined the NBA in 1949. The Warriors name comes from a different Philadelphia Warriors basketball team that played in 1925. The team played in Philly until 1962, where it was sold to a Bay Area company and moved to San Francisco, California. The San Francisco Warriors were called that until 1971, when the team moved across the bay to Oakland to draw a larger fan base. Their name was changed to Golden State Warriors, and that remains their name today. The franchise has a total of 5 NBA championships, with the majority coming in recent years. The 76ers franchise started out as the Syracuse Nationals, playing in Syracuse, New York, and joined the NBA in 1949. They would play there until 1963, where they were purchased by new owners and moved to Philadelphia to fill the void that the Warriors left a year earlier. The move resulted in a name change to the Philadelphia 76ers, which is inspired by the American Revolution. The franchise has played in Philly ever since and has a total of 3 NBA championships in 1955, 1967, and 1983. The Wizards franchise started out as the Chicago Packers and joined the NBA in 1961 as the first ever expansion franchise. The following year, in 1962, the team name was changed to the Chicago Zephyrs, and in 1963, the franchise was moved to Baltimore, Maryland to become the Baltimore Bullets. They played in Baltimore from 1963 till 1972, and then moved to a Washington, D.C. suburb to become the Capitol Bullets. The next year, they would change the name to the Washington Bullets and keep it until 1997. In the 97 season, the franchise changed to the Washington Wizards because they feared that the name they had previously supported gun violence, and the Wizards name is still what the team uses today. The franchise has 1 NBA championship from 1978. The Rockets franchise started out in San Diego, California as the San Diego Rockets and joined the NBA in 1967. This name was given to the team because San Diego was where Atlas rockets for NASA were made. They played there until 1971, where they were moved to Houston because of low game attendance. NASA's headquarters are in Houston, so the team name was perfect, so that is where the franchise has been ever since. They did earn 2 NBA championships in back-to-back years, being in 1994 and 1995. The Thunder franchise started out as the Seattle Supersonics and joined the NBA in 1967 along with the Rockets franchise. The Supersonics name is inspired by a Boeing aircraft because the company is based in Seattle. The Sonics played in the Northwest until 2008 when they were sold to another owner who moved the team to Oklahoma City. The team had financial troubles and could not afford to build a new arena in Seattle. The move to OKC was controversial, but the team has been there since 2008, and as a whole, the franchise has only won the NBA championship in 1979. The Clippers franchise started out as the Buffalo Braves and joined the NBA in 1970, playing in Buffalo, New York. They played there until 1978 when their owner switched ownership with the Boston Celtics owner and the franchise was moved to San Diego. There, they would become the San Diego Clippers, named after the trade ships that would stop at the city's ports. The Clippers would leave for Los Angeles in 1984 to become the Los Angeles Clippers, which they still are today. The Jazz franchise started out as the New Orleans Jazz and joined the NBA in 1974, playing in New Orleans, Louisiana. The name is inspired by the jazz culture of New Orleans. The franchise played there until 1978, where, because of a lack of profitability, they moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, to become the Utah Jazz. The franchise has been playing in Utah since, and unfortunately still has not changed their name to something better to represent the city. The Nets franchise started out as the New York Nets and joined the NBA in 1976. A year later, the franchise moved to New Jersey to become the New Jersey Nets. They played there until 2012 when a Russian billionaire bought the franchise and moved them to the Brooklyn borough of New York City to become the Brooklyn Nets. Unfortunately, the Nets franchise has yet to win an NBA championship. The Hornets franchise originally started out in Charlotte, North Carolina, and joined the NBA as an expansion franchise in 1988. They played there until 2002 when the organization was moved to New Orleans as a result of decreased attendance and arena troubles. However, in 2014, Charlotte was granted another NBA expansion franchise that acquired all the rights and history from the Hornets franchise. This team would be called the Charlotte Bobcats, which played until 2014. After the season, the franchise renamed to the Charlotte Hornets and reclaimed all of the other franchise's previous history. The Grizzlies franchise started out as the Vancouver Grizzlies and joined the NBA in 1995 as one of the 2 Canadian NBA franchises. The name comes from the grizzly bears that are native to Western Canada. The franchise stayed in Vancouver, British Columbia until 2001 when it was sold to a new owner because there were financial troubles and low game attendance. It was moved to Memphis, Tennessee and became known as the Memphis Grizzlies. The franchise has played in Memphis since 2001 and has not yet won an NBA title. The Pelicans franchise started out as the New Orleans Hornets after the team from Charlotte moved. It is considered to be a new franchise that started in 2002. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina destroyed the city of New Orleans, including the team's arena, so they moved to Oklahoma City for the next 2 seasons, becoming the New Orleans Oklahoma City Hornets. In 2007, the franchise returned to New Orleans after arena renovations. In 2013, the team changed their name to the New Orleans Pelicans to better suit their location because the pelican is the official state bird of Louisiana. In doing so, they denounced the rights to the Hornets franchise, giving Charlotte's NBA team the ability to reclaim them. The Pelicans franchise has been playing in New Orleans ever since. So there you have it, all of the NBA teams that have relocated or changed their names throughout NBA history.